and talk about sitting on the sidelines, right? If you sat on the sidelines in December and now
One
you're
month.
ready in January, you're done.
Didn't even get to cross.
So let's talk about, okay, people, this is what I want to talk about, okay?
Yep.
The market was a mess then. Nobody was buying. People were leaving the city, all those things. What I want to bring home to people is there were fundamental reasons why real estate wasn't selling then, okay? So I want to talk about those fundamental reasons a little bit. The plants were down. The U.S. economy had crashed. The feeder plants were down. Or leaving for Alberta, right, to go work in the oil sands.
Yeah, that was
our
big,
population wasn't growing. So we had a stagnant market.
Yeah.
Prices were declining, not even stagnant, for fundamental reasons. Paul, what was happening then? What did you see at the time as an agent?
Lost everybody my age, right? They couldn't get here. So a lot of them moved to Toronto. A lot of them moved out west. A lot of them just went, they graduated and they had to go to work, right?
Mm-hmm. So we were in a declining population.
And the supply was just...
Unemployment was probably... Rents were low. No investors weren't here. Why would investors come here? The city's dead. Nobody was here, right? So it was a kind of a dead city, right? So that's why it wouldn't have been that much of an attractive investment opportunity, even though you look back and now it looks like one. Yeah. So where are we at now? Okay, so what's happened in that period? What's been the trajectory? Why are prices jumping up so high? I think a lot of people think it's just crazy mayhem. People are just being stupid and overpaying. And I keep harping up to people that, no, the fundamentals have changed. And when the fundamentals change in a market, whether it's a stock or real estate, if I change my mindset, then I'm making a mistake. If the fundamentals change, I'm going to change with them or I'm going to be left behind. What are the fundamentals now in Windsor? What's changed since then? And why are prices jumping up so quickly? Paul, let's get your perspective first. Dan will get your investor perspective as well after.
So why are prices jumping? Well, again, and we talk about this in the office all the time.
Almost
right?
every day,
every week, every day, I'm like, man, like, again, when I see something sell for $480, like my head will automatically go, I put so many people in this stuff for $110.
Yeah.
$130, whatever it is. I can go to South Windsor, South Walkerville, Riverside, $50, first-time home buyers. All day long, like with choice. So it comes down to supply and demand, right? Why is there no supply right now? That's the question. You can't tell me people aren't moving here because we see a market every single day.
Subjectively, like I don't know if there's a statistic to back this up. I can't find a stat. But subjectively, Paul and I are in the market every day. We're getting calls on our listings every day from Toronto agents, from people moving to Windsor, from first-time home buyers that are letters. I want to get out of my parents' house. I want to get into the market. It's happening. The demand is there. Interest rates are 1.5%. People you got to own real estate, right? People know that, right? They're tired of renting. They want to own something. They're getting priced out. Yeah. It's driving people to get into the market. So, there's no supply. So for that decade, right, and from 2007 to now, I don't know of any development really in Windsor. Maybe some small subdivisions once in a while, but like there was no massive development. So nobody was building.
There was no condo market.
No.
Yeah,
like,
no condos.
Going back, like condo, like somebody like, oh, look, why would you buy a condo?
Yeah, buy a house.
Again, I can get you into all these areas with yards and fences and basements and all this stuff. Whatever you want, I'll get it for you, right?
So there was no development because it didn't make sense.
Seeing the condo market right now is what really interests me because literally there was no condo market. Like, nothing.
And when we say that means nobody was here developing condos. Right. There were some from the 60s, 70s, 80s that were already built, but nobody was coming here and building condos because the houses were so cheap. They were cheap for a fundamental reason because nobody was here. Right. People were leaving. There was no demand and a lot of supply. So number one, there's not a lot of supply because nobody built for 10 or 15 years. Because why would you, right? Now all of a sudden you have the fundamentals changing. People are moving here. We're the cheapest city in Ontario. People
still one of the cheapest. That's what people.
We're still the cheapest in Ontario. Okay. Sorry, let's say most affordable, not cheapest, because who cares if it's cheap? Affordability, which is based on your average income as well. Most affordable city in Ontario, most affordable city in the country. That's insane.
Still
After this big run up,
which won't make sense to people. Right?
Like, so we have to hammer home, especially.
I'm assuming that has to do with also population, like size of city. Like when you say cheapest and most affordable.
Well, you have to think
with regards to or what's considered a city, right? Because towns and
probably but a town's going to have a lower average income as well.
I agree, but I think that you understand people are going to be like, well, what the talking about? You know,
you're probably right.
Probably cheaper.
You're probably
what
right.
We're trying to say is like, you know, if you base it off of X population,
a city, like we're talking
what
a city
is considered, right? We're a city, point. We're not a township, or we're not whatever.
Good point. Windsor has the ingredients to be like a big time city. We border the most powerful economy in the US. We haven't put it together yet, but we are a city. And we're a small city, but we're a city, not a small town. And that's the difference, I think. I think most small towns will never be big. So we have no supply. Now, all of a sudden, what's happening is we're trying to catch up with supply in Windsor, right? Because of the demand has increased. 1.6% interest rates has people pouring into the market. Investors left, right, and center. You see how many investors that I'm dealing with right now all over the country. It's insane because the fundamentals here are so strong and Windsor's growing. People want to be here. Investors as well. So supply's getting snapped up. Now builders are coming here. They're building condos. They're building townhouses. But the problem with that is you're trying to catch up to the demand. But when you're building new supply, because prices have increased so much to build and buy land or whatever, you can't.
No.
And because of red tape and government bureaucracy and taxation and lack of land and all the environmental studies you got to do development, it takes 3 years to get anything off the ground. You can't even do a basement version without hitting major headaches. Like we can't catch up the supply to meet the demand. And all the new supply is now 500K plus. Yeah. So you almost can't fix the supply demand imbalance. Like
it's impossible to catch up right now. Even like, and talk about sitting on the sidelines, right? If you sat on the sidelines in December and now you're ready in January, you're done. Like it's
1 month.
450 is the average sale price. I bet you by the end of February it's going to be closer to 5.
So what's crazy is I remember I can't remember who I told, even you or John or something like that, and I was like, there's no way. This was like maybe a year or two ago, maybe not a year. I was like, there's no way that we'll see like, you know, $4,500 for average price buy, and like we're here. Like
you might have said in a decade, you might have thought that, and here we are in a year.
Yeah, it's crazy. And again, I fall guilty to that because when I first started, like didn't move for like 7 years. So,
and I understand why people have a hard time. Like we've been here our whole lives. We're all born and raised in Windsor. We've seen the city die, or be dead for basically our whole lives. I understand why you're stuck in that mindset. I learned this in the stock market. Like this is how I've adapted it to real estate. I used to like come into like with a stock like and I have a preconceived notion of like, oh, it can't go any higher. And then you just watch it keep going higher because that company keeps growing and it keeps getting bigger, like Amazon and Facebook and Google. They just keep going up because they're making more money. It just makes sense, right? So I had to learn like, okay, the fundamentals of those companies are driving the stock price. The fundamentals of a real estate market are going to do the same. The fundamentals of Windsor's real estate, I've been saying this for 3 or 4 years now, in the face of everybody against me, or not everybody, but most people are like, Windsor's real estate can't keep going up. I've heard this for 3 years now. My friends, my family, people that are really smart have told me, well, Chrysler just laid off 1,500 people. The market's going to get hammered. And I'm sitting there like, no, we're not, because we're still the cheapest city in Ontario. We got people from the GTA. We got investors left, right, and center that are snapping up supply. We got interest rates at 2%. Like, I don't care. Chrysler's not big enough. We're going to need a lot more than that to crash this market. Yeah. Prices are going to keep going up. And I feel like I've been, one of the kind of saying this for the last little bit. But again, the point is fundamental reasons. I don't like saying this to people. I sound like salesy. I feel like I sound salesy, right? Oh, prices are going to keep going up. Like you just said, right? From December to January, like, do you feel comfortable telling your client, like, you got to get something now because prices are like, I don't like saying that.
I didn't used to, but it's my job to make sure that they understand that, right? They have to understand that, like that it's
fundamentally driven.
You have to show them what's actually going on. And then even then, when we write offers based on what's going on in the numbers that we have, we don't have the numbers that are happening literally today. Like, I mean,